doesn't get better than this.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. We are currently in Puno in the south of Peru. We've spent the last 2 weeks cycling the second half of Bolivia, as well as going on some fun tourist activities off the bikes. We are also excited to announce that Phoebe is back. With 3 months healing her foot and saving Cornish lives, she's back and excited for the next adventure. She brought with her all sorts of treats and upgrades that have been very welcome to the setups and also our stomachs. She also told me that I wasn't being funny enough, so here are some funny jokes.
What's a cannibal's favourite game?
I don't know.
Swallow the leader.
Wow, it's such hard work cycling up this hill. I'm absolutely exhausted.
Compared with cycling across the salt flats, we were pretty disappointed with the road to La Paz. It must be said that there is an amazing road that goes through the Amazon in the east of Bolivia, but being the light-hearted lads we are, we chose the easy option. Don't worry, now that Phoebe is back, we will be choosing the difficult option again. We did this route as quickly as possible and rewarded ourselves with some tourist adventures after a few days in La Paz. So I wanted to tell a little anecdote from when we got to La Paz, which was hilarious for me, but was much less fun for Tim.
Tim, who refused to talk about this on camera.
Yeah, so here I am. When we first got to La Paz, we planned to stay at this Casa de Ciclistas, which is a free guest house for cyclist travellers. They're really great. They're all over South America. You can meet loads of cyclists. They're super fun. But this one was pretty particular. So we arrived after trawling through La Paz traffic, absolutely exhausted at around 4 p.m. And we were greeted by Christian, the owner, who's very charming, but without any explanation, he just dragged us off in his car to 40 minutes outside of La Paz to his other property, where I guess in his head he planned for us to do loads of work for our stay in the Casa de Ciclistas, but he didn't explain any of this to us. So he just arrived and he just took us off to this random place. As soon as we got there...
Was he a good driver?
He was a terrible driver, yeah, like everyone in Bolivia. And as soon as we got there, we noticed Tim was absolutely flagging. He kind of sat next to a tree, didn't really want to eat or drink anything, was feeling pretty ropey. So we left Tim to the tree, and then Christian set me to work.
It's very confusing having two Christians.
It was very confusing. And the first task he got me to do was pretty ridiculous. It was like cleaning out this bath outside, which was filthy. It was like full of rocks and like mud and crap. And as I halfway through, I kind of assumed it would be a reservoir or something for his water supply, but it turned out that he just wanted it clean for the frogs. So I've been slaving away for half an hour in this ridiculous bath for some frogs, and then he got me dragging dirt up and down the garden, and then I ended up digging a new compost hole. All this time Tim is just getting worse and worse and worse, and I think he even may have chucked up on the sly round the corner, at which point this witch doctor, who I'm not even sure what relation she was to Christian, she took Tim under her wing and made Tim get in her bed, not with her in it, and just kind of nursed him back to health, which, if you know Tim, is Tim's worst nightmare when he's ill. And she was nursing him back to health, but chucking all sorts of potions up his nose, in his ears, in his mouth, and adjacent to his bed there was this absolute ancient crumbly woman who was on her last legs. It was pretty sad, and she was blind, deaf. She kept going to the toilet, but her toilet was just the doorway, so she would just squat in the doorway in front of poor Tim. And yeah, Tim was just getting worse and worse, and we eventually got out of there in Christian's car, and I mean, he drove like a maniac on the way back, like completely oblivious to that Tim was chucking up in the back, and that his driving, like ridiculous overtakes, were making Tim feel worse and worse and worse. So yeah, it was pretty surreal, funny little introduction to La Paz.
And then what happened to the crumbly woman who looked like she was about to die?
Well, she died 2 days later, and they'd actually offered for Tim to stay the night there, but Tim didn't want to stay the night because he thought that she might die in there, and he really didn't want that to happen when he was feeling really bad. But yeah, 2 days of rest, and he was fine. We watched Batman, which was good.
That's the classic cure for any illness.
Classic cure, yeah. After a few days of recovery for Tim, we took a tour of the Pampas region in the east of Bolivia. Tropical wetlands filled with caiman alligators, monkeys, all sorts of wonderful birds, capybara, the largest rodent in the world, and of course, sloths. We even got to swim with some fleshy blind river dolphins. It was a great chance to relax, see more of Bolivia that would be too far away on our bikes, and also for Tim to get an idea of the terrain he will be facing for his ultramarathon in Peru in June. As soon as Phoebe had arrived, we booked in a tour to do the infamous Death Road, a perfect antidote to whatever problems she may be having with the altitude. 60 kilometres of downhill off-road, that was originally the main trucker route, taking 2 lives a day on average. Now it is a manageable mountain bike route, mainly for tourists, but it was the best scenery we've seen so far on the trip. With 3,000 metres of descent, the scenery went from the dry, cold altiplano we have been used to humid rainforest at the bottom. Our guide was great and extremely enthusiastic, and we finished the day with a rare ice-cold beer at the bottom, where we reflected on how grateful we were we didn't attempt it on our steel-loaded frames.
Come on, boy! Come on, Phoebe! Woo! Come on, guys, under the waterfall! Woo! Come on, boy! Woo! Phoebe! 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 Nice job! Woo! Lovely!
After nearly 2 weeks off the saddle, it's been really great to start riding again, and the views have been stunning. We've been doing a lap of Lake Titicaca, taking advantage of the stretched out climbs with incredible views over the blue water. We've also made it across another border, which we are particularly excited about, as we are now in surfing country. This is the longest I've been without being in the ocean since I was a child, and I can't wait for the west coast of Peru. Next time, we should have reached Cusco, Machu Picchu and the Sacred Valley in Peru, and we'll have a long descent to the coast to look forward to. Thanks for watching and following our journey. Central heating.
That's a pretty low score. 1, 2.